That's what you're looking at on the left hand of your screen. Those guys were freed without bail. Here's one suspect flipping the bird to the cameras.
Okay. Look at that.
Why are you beating cops up? What's wrong with you?
Migrants accused of attacking two New York City police officers. That's what you're looking at on the left hand of your screen. Those guys were freed without bail. And now look at this. Here's one suspect flipping the bird to the cameras. Could care less.
Amazing.
Another blows kisses as he smiles and laughs. The other
Look at that, blowing kisses.
Also putting up the middle fingers and
Look at that walk.
cursing.
He feels like a celebrity.
Remorseless, brazen.
Looks smiling,
And now the question
having a
is,
good time.
will the Biden administration deport these migrants?
I mean, even if they do, they can always come back. Well, what do you guys know? Things continue to escalate here with the migrant crisis. So let's see what the Hispanic media has to say about this. So they're in shock, and the Mail reporter is saying that 5 suspects have been arrested. The police is looking for an additional 7. But New York City is in shock, and they find this to be very disrespectful. Additionally, they are upset because those that were arrested were released without bail. So you can see the video there. 2 cops were struggling with one migrant, apparently. Again, allegedly. But then others jumped in and were attacking and kicking these 2 officers. According to the NYPD officers, they were trying to disperse what it seemed to be a disorderly conduct situation, and then they were attacked. So they seem to be residents of New York City, and they're saying that this is very bad and this shouldn't be. If this is what they are doing, then the doors should be closed. The reporter says that this happened around 8 p.m. very close to a migrant shelter where they tend to hang out, those that are seeking asylum.
Unfortunately, it looks like it's a migrant situation.
And you heard that right there. The NYPD believes this was caused by migrants.
It infuriates me.
There you go. So he's not happy about it. But that's your city, pal. That's your city. At least 4 of the 5 arrested were already identified. 2 of them live in a migrant shelter. But per the judge's orders, they were released again without bail. This New York resident says, a person that assaults an officer is not scared of assaulting anyone, so we should all wake up. That's what he said. Then the reporter says that some say that in the famous tourist area of Times Square, the lack of security and the lack of safety has increased.
I was never scared of working here.
So this small business owner, as you heard him right there, he didn't want to identify himself, but he said that he was never scared of working here in the area prior the migrants arriving. Again, that's per the small business owner that was interviewed right there. And then he claims that he doesn't say anything to anybody because he's scared that they will retaliate against him. Guys, this sounds so much like Venezuela, you have no idea. Wow, she says. What's amazing is that they are free. She's in shock. These reporters are in shock. Mind you, they've been promoting the mother with children story for a long time now, and now they are in shock. Okay, now let's watch this other report from Univision. So the cops made it to the area of the incident to increase security. And this is the subcommissioner of the NYPD that gave an interview to Univision.
They seen a disorderly group standing in front of here, accosting women as they walk by. They went to stop them, tell them to move along. We have identified majority of them. We just made one apprehension a little while ago. All of them, we're going to scour the globe. We're going to canvass this whole entire country to find you if you assault one of our officers.
Well, you heard him right there. So apparently, a group of alleged migrants were harassing a woman. And so these couple of officers intervened in the situation. And these individuals didn't listen. And that's when the altercation occurred.
We're going to find you tonight. We're going to bring you to justice.
So you heard his main points right there. I don't need to double translate that. But we can see right there the officers were around the Row Hotel in New York, searching and questioning what it seems to be migrants. Well, the New York governor, Kathy Hochul, suggests deporting mob of migrants who pounded cops in caught-on-camera attack near Times Square, and this is per the New York Post. Furthermore, she has been quoted saying, "Get them all and send them back." She said, and I quote, "You don't touch our police officers. You don't touch anyone." So to emphasize, 5 other migrants were previously arrested and then released without bail on charges of second-degree assault on police officers and obstructing government administration. All were Venezuelans who arrived in the 5 boroughs sometime last year, according to law enforcement sources. Police sources said at least one more suspect remains the subject of an NYPD manhunt. Again, this story is ongoing, but those are the updates as of this recording. Now, guys, am I in shock? No. Not in shock at all, because this is like breakfast for Venezuela. And this country is turning into Venezuela 2.0. Although I was raised here, I do have family over there. And the stories they would share, plus all the news footage I've been watching for years now when it comes to Venezuela, it's very familiar to what's happening now. And unfortunately, for those sanctuary cities specifically, it is only going to get worse unless a drastic change in policy occurs. And I don't see that happening there anytime soon. But here's one thing that everybody missed in all of these reports. Ready? Nobody gets it. No one does. They don't talk about it. Some of them are saying, how can this be? How can they let them out? You know, they probably have a criminal record in Venezuela, which maybe they do, but we will never know. But the one thing that everybody missed is what I've been saying for months now. Being here is a privilege, not a right. And that sense of reality is being lost at this point. Why? Because they were given easy entry to the United States. They lack appreciation for the shelters. Why? Because they were given easy access to the shelter system when arriving to America. We've seen how some complain about the food. Why? Because they were given free food. And now we are seeing the lack of respect for the law and the officers. Why? Because they are able to freely roam the streets. So you get it? Being in America now has become a right for the world, not a privilege. It's just like as if you are given a bunch of cash without having to work every single day. So for instance, let's say somebody gives me a bunch of cash every single day. At some point, it's going to register that without having to work, I'm going to get the bunch of cash regardless. And so what's going to happen in most cases? Well, you're going to start spending that money left and right. Because again, you know the next day, that bunch of cash is going to come without having to work. And so what happens? You lack appreciation for the cash, because if you were working, you would say, oh, gee, I want to buy something nice. Well, I know that I have to make up for it by working a certain amount of time. Regardless of what the purchase is, doesn't matter. But the point is that you appreciate it because you are not being given a bunch of cash every single day. Again, I'm not saying that they are being given cash, but they are being given easy access to the United States. And so now that privilege is being diminished every single day. And that's your result right there. Finally, your voice matters and your vote matters. This has to be the last year of this nightmare. And quite frankly, if that doesn't happen, then get ready for Venezuela 2.0. And you can do a quick Google search and see the homicide rate in Venezuela or just the crime rate in general. And well, have a good time reading that. Guys, thank you for supporting my page. Your follows and subscription are helping the algorithm, and these videos are being pushed to more and more Americans every single day. So thank you. And let me know what you think in the comment section below.